Hello and welcome back to Hestia's Muse, podcast for astrological devotionals. My name is Liliana Blackstar, and I am here to bring you a spiritual devotional of self-discovery and personal growth that is in some way inspired by astrology. Join me to tune into astrological transits and the Wheel of the Year for inspiration in your greatest task in life, to know yourself. Hi, welcome back. So this week we're going to talk about the tarot card, the Seven of Wands. As you know, I have been going through the tarot cards in relation to the current astrological season. So whether you are joining me live or whether you are tuning in later, we are exploring this card in its relation to a certain section of the zodiac. So each of the tarot cards are in some way associated with an astrological sign, a decan, a season, or a planet. The Seven of Wands is associated with the third decan of Leo. Decans are subdivisions of signs, so each sign is divided into three sections, a beginning, a middle, and an end, and those are known as the decans. So there's the first decan, second decan, and third decan. The third decan of Leo is the section of Leo that is from 20 degrees through 29 degrees. It is the last third of the sign of Leo, or approximately the last 9 or 10 days of Leo's season. So this year in 2023, the sun is traveling through this decan of Leo from August 12th through August 22nd. And each sign is ruled by a planet, and then each decan is also ruled by a planet. You can think of this as a sub-ruler or a shift manager. So the entire sign of Leo is ruled by the sun, but the last 10 degrees of Leo are sub-ruled by Mars. So therefore you can think of the last section of Leo season, or the last 10 degrees of Leo, as having a Sun and Mars influence. You could also think of it as representative of Mars in Leo. Mars does not have to be in Leo for this card to be relevant, but it can help to think of Mars as influencing this section of the zodiac. So we can and we will take a look at what it means for Mars to be in the sign of Leo to help us understand what the Seven of Wands means. All right, so overview: the Seven of Wands in traditional Rider-Waite-Smith symbolized cards shows the figure standing at the top of the hill. He's holding a wand. He's defending himself. There are other wands at the lower part of the card, and you can't see the people holding the wands, but it gives you the sensation that people are down there trying to hit the figure with the wands, and he's using his wand to defend himself. So at least in this card, he does have the higher ground, so that kind of is helping him defend himself. But he's not in a very happy or comfortable position, and we can relate that to the way that Mars is the ruler of this card. So some key words and concepts for the Seven of Wands are being assertive, taking charge, defending your position, defending yourself, encountering resistance, facing a challenge, fighting an unknown enemy or fighting an unexpected enemy, fighting against popular opinion, having courage, having the higher ground, holding your boundaries, confronting obstacles to success, perseverance, protecting, resilience, standing up for yourself, standing your ground, having tenacity, and experiencing unexpected battles. In general, the Seven of Wands in a tarot reading signifies a moment of needing to be defensive. This card signifies a period of resilience and standing firm in the face of challenges and opposition. This card represents a situation where you are encountering resistance and competition. It urges you to assert yourself and defend your position, beliefs, or achievements, even if it means facing adversity or going against the majority. So coming directly after the Six of Wands, we can see how once someone achieves a position of fame or leadership, they will often be attacked or challenged by others. So the previous card, the Six of Wands, is a moment of celebration in which someone has been crowned a victor, or the crowd is celebrating someone for a job well done. And then the very next card, the Seven of Wands, we see someone being attacked, right? So sometimes I would call this card the haters gonna hate card, because this person on the card has achieved the higher ground. They might not have necessarily done anything wrong in the sense of like committed an atrocity or a sin, but for whatever reason, public opinion has turned against them, or people are just not liking what they're doing. So the obstacle here is somewhat unexpected. The Six of Wands had you feeling appreciated and heard and celebrated, and then all of a sudden people are complaining about you. The same crowd that was previously cheering for you is now forming an angry mob. Or perhaps there's just a few voices of challenge coming at you from the crowd, but you can't clearly see who it is that is challenging you. You're not sure where this challenge is coming from or why these people are angry with you. You were likely not expecting to have to defend yourself, so you might feel caught off guard. This person in the card is not depicted as someone wearing armor and prepared for battle. They have two separate shoes on, like two different shoes, meaning like he kind of got ready in a hurry or had to like rush to defend themselves, and they were not prepared for this. So these are the moments that you're caught off guard by some kind of challenge, and you thought you had support, but you don't, and you're suddenly having to just defend yourself. So at first you might have defended yourself out of impulse and instinct, but then at a certain point you have to choose whether this is the hill that you are willing to die on, right? So there's a reminder here to choose your battles wisely. If you're going to make a dramatic stand, it should be for something that you really believe in. So sometimes if people are calling you out, or they're upset at something that you did or said, or something that they think that you represent, you instinctively defend yourself, but then you're faced with a choice of like, is this really where I'm going to take a stand? Is this really the hill I'm going to die on? Or maybe I did make a mistake. Maybe I need to apologize. Maybe I need to change my position. There's always room for growth and learning, no matter how much of a leader someone is. The previous card had that Six of Wands has someone in a leadership position, and now they're being challenged. So sometimes even our leaders make mistakes, say the wrong thing, and people call them out. And this is the opportunity for them to either stand their ground or at some point you have to decide, like, okay, maybe I was wrong and I'm gonna back down and not have this turn into a huge battle right now. If it is you that is being attacked just for being yourself and being who you are, and you feel good about who you are, then this is a time to show that you really believe in yourself, even if no one else does. Sometimes we will have these moments where we're being asked to show that we believe in ourselves, even if you don't necessarily have the support of others, right? It's easy to believe in yourself when the crowd is cheering you on. It's easy to believe in yourself when you're not being challenged and being told that you're wrong or that something about you is upsetting, right? So these are the moments where you're being challenged to believe in yourself by yourself without the support of others. You might not always have someone who has your back. It's nice to imagine that your friends will always have your back, but in some situations they might not, and you have to defend yourself on your own. Again, it comes down to that choice of, like, if even your friends can't support you in this, then is this something that you really believe in and are going to fight on? It's again, is that question of, is this the hill that you are willing to die on? And if it is, then okay, stand your ground. If not, then you might have some different maneuvering to do to get out of a defensive, combative situation. So the Seven of Wands encourages us to trust in our abilities and convictions, refusing to back down despite external pressures. This card can remind you that by maintaining your integrity and asserting your boundaries, you can overcome certain obstacles and gain back the respect and support that you need in order to succeed. Sometimes it's about doing the right thing, even when that thing is not the popular thing. So sometimes you are in these situations where you are going against popular opinion, but just because something is popular doesn't mean that it's right. So perseverance and courage are essential in navigating through these challenging situations where you might not have the support of everyone around you and you have to stand your ground. So that is the basic overview of the meaning of the Seven of Wands card. If that comes up in a reading for you or someone else, then it's usually representing some kind of situation where the person is having to defend themselves unexpectedly. They're not prepared for this battle that came up. They are being challenged in some way, and they are choosing whether this is the hill they want to die on, choosing whether or not they're going to stand their ground in this situation, and differentiating between if these are just haters that are hating because haters gonna hate, or if the people are angry for a legitimate reason and you need to, like, learn a lesson and back down, or if you need to stand your ground and defend yourself. So let's take a look at the meaning of Mars in relation to the sign of Leo. So just as a practice, we're going to think about what it means when Mars is in the sign of Leo. But again, just pointing out that this lesson of this card is not only relevant when Mars is in Leo, but it's more like we're going to interpret the Leo energy, keeping Mars in mind as a very influential energy here. So Mars in Leo combines the assertive and action-oriented nature of Mars with the bold and expressive qualities of Leo. Mars is the planet of combat and battle. Mars is our inner warrior. It is the energy within us that is willing to stand up and fight for something. It is assertive. It's going to go out and get something instead of being passive and waiting for something to come to you. Mars is like, I want that. I'm going to go get it. And I might have to fight my way to the front of the line to get it. So there's this assertiveness and action-orientated nature of Mars. And then the sign of Leo is about being bold, being creative, being self-expressive, joyful, childlike, believing in yourself, having a sense of self-confidence, and a believing in your ability to kind of create something unique. Like Leo is definitely the sign of artists and performers who are creating something unique in the world that is just them and not anyone else does it just like they do. So there's a strong streak of individuality in Leo, and there's the boldness and expressiveness. So when we combine these, Mars in Leo brings a surge of fiery and bold energy to your ability to self-express. Mars in Leo would encourage people to step into the spotlight and assert their individuality and pursue their goals with passion and confidence. There's a strong desire for recognition, and people may be more willing to take risks and showcase their talents when under the influence of both Mars and Leo. A Mars and Leo influence empowers individuals to be more assertive in pursuing their creative endeavors and seeking opportunities to lead and inspire others. It fuels a sense of self-importance and a need to be seen and appreciated for your own unique contributions. So this would make it an excellent time to channel creativity and take on leadership roles, ask for the promotion, or do something that somehow gets you and your individuality and creativity put in the spotlight. The lessons of Mars in Leo by transit revolve around embracing authenticity and learning to use one's influence and assertiveness in positive ways. So this transit could be very empowering. There's a need to step into your sense of power and step forward into some kind of leadership role or just being proud of what it is that you do. There is a need to be mindful of ego-driven behavior when Mars is influencing Leo. So there's a potential for conflicts arising from a desire for dominance or a sense that someone is more important or knows better than other people. So you have to watch and keep the ego in check, because Mars kind of adds fuel to the fire and fans the flames of anything that it touches. And in Leo, it's going to be fanning the flames of self-confidence, fanning the flames of like believing in yourself, which is a good thing. But if your ego gets overinflated, then that generally is not a good thing, right? So you have to watch for the ego getting out of balance and overinflated during a Mars and Leo type of energy. The challenge lies in balancing your assertiveness with humility and being aware of the impact that your actions have on others. So we can look back at that card, the Seven of Wands, and again, it's like I was talking about, there's some situations where yes, you need to stand your ground and defend yourself. There are some situations, though, where the people might be right, and the reason that they were upset at you might be valid, and you might have to apologize and step down in some way instead of just like doubling down on what it is that you said. So that's kind of where I'm going with the ego. Check in with your ego with these situations, because Mars in Leo can be really good for helping you build self-confidence, but an overabundance of confidence is an overinflated ego, megalomaniac narcissism. We don't want that. So it's essential to avoid letting pride or stubbornness cloud your judgment, and to be receptive to constructive feedback. You know, when you're being told that you were wrong or did something unpopular, it's hard to hear that as constructive feedback, right? And so there's a necessity to use some judgment here and decide whether this is meant to be as constructive feedback or whether you are actually being attacked unfairly. So the Mars and Leo combination encourages people to lead by example, inspiring others through genuine enthusiasm and by staying true to their passions. Mars is definitely about our passions and enthusiasm, and Leo is about being authentic and genuine and staying true to yourself. So in its highest form, the Mars and Leo combination is going to create this energy in you to be able to lead by example and inspire others through your genuine and authentic enthusiasm. And people see someone who's staying true to their passions and following their heart and expressing their true creativity with authenticity, and that's inspiring. By embracing a sense of responsibility and cultivating a generous spirit, Mars and Leo can become a transformative and empowering period for personal growth and creative expression. So if you are in a situation of you really are just defending yourself, were just expressing yourself authentically and creatively, and some people just didn't like it, and they are attacking you and trying to tear you down, and you stay the path and you stick with tenacity of standing your ground, protecting your boundaries, standing up for yourself and showing resilience and perseverance and just, standing your ground in a really positive, assertive way, then other people are going to be inspired by that. Other people are going to see that, and it's going to help them be able to stand firm in positions when they are in that position also, because they've seen someone else do it. They were inspired by it. So we can kind of combine the lessons of the Seven of Wands with Mars and Leo and get this overall feel for, or like a deeper feel for, what this card means. So throughout all of Leo season with the sun in Leo, Leo has been teaching us about building confidence. And in this last 10 days of Leo season, there is a Mars energy coming in to provide the final challenge or the test. Mars in astrology often brings some kind of challenge that we have to face, and we overcome it, and we learn strength or resilience, or we learn something about ourselves through this challenge. So in the final 10 days of Leo season, we just have to remember that there is some kind of challenge there because that decan is subruled by Mars. So there's a test coming, and it says, are you confident enough to stand your ground when you encounter resistance? Do you believe in yourself enough to defend yourself, even if no one else is standing with you? Right? So, like I said before, it's easy to feel confident when you're surrounded by a cheering crowd and have a supportive group of friends around you. But when the haters come out and the supporters are nowhere to be seen, do you have the courage, confidence, and bravery to stand alone? Sometimes having self-confidence requires stamina, resilience, and tenacity. Mars is the planet of war, and Leo is the sign of creativity and self-expression. You are sometimes faced with a choice to go into battle in the sense of defending or protecting your own creative self-expression. Not everyone will like what you create or what you have to say. Like, we see this with celebrities all the time. The bigger the celebrity, the more haters they have, right? You will sometimes be put in a position of being asked to stand your ground. If you don't fully believe in yourself or on the ground that you are standing upon, then you have already lost the battle. Before you begin, you've lost it. You have to believe in yourself with passion, have a strength of conviction in what you are standing up for. And if you have those, then standing your ground is the only thing you can do, right? If you believe in yourself with a passion and have a strength of conviction of what you believe in, then you have no choice but to stand your ground. Whereas if you don't believe in yourself and you don't have, you don't fully believe in the ground that you're standing on or believe in the issue that you were championing, then you might as well just put down your spear or wand and step down away from the battle now, right? So this card wants you to remember that what is popular is not always right, and what is right is not always popular. Leo energy tends to want to go with the crowd or popular trends, and thus create situations of dogpiling or mob mentality taking over. So Mars brings in this energy that is willing to stand against the current, giving courage to break free and stand up against popular opinion. So this card may signal an opportune moment to separate yourself from the crowd and stand your ground apart from the group or the popular opinion at the time. So you have to remember to check that you are not just fighting out of pride or ego or stubbornness. Sometimes criticism is necessary and helpful. You have to remember that you aren't always right. Check that what you are defending or fighting is worth staking your reputation on. Again, is this hill worth dying on? Are these haters worth fighting against? So there's just some questions that I have that you can ask yourself as a devotional practice through this final section of Leo season. In what ways are you feeling like you are standing alone or lacking support? In what ways are you feeling attacked? Or do you have haters and bullies that seem to attack you for who you are? Are your current battles really worth staking your reputation on? Is this the hill that you are willing to die on? What unpopular opinions do you have? Or in what way are you standing separate from the crowd? What are your hard boundaries? What are the boundaries that you will hold firm and not bend? And how do you hold your boundaries with others? How do you defend your boundaries? How does your self-confidence hold up to criticism from others? How can you build greater resilience and courage in your life so that you can fight these battles with strength and tenacity? So, again, just a reminder that this card and the way that we're exploring it with the energy of Mars and Leo, it's not limited to those situations. However, if you have the sun, moon, or rising sign in the last 10 degrees of Leo, the Seven of Wands will be an important card for you in this lifetime. You can think of it as a card representing some of your most important life lessons. If you were born with Mars in Leo, this card is also very important throughout your life. If you have other planets in your birth chart in the last 10 degrees of Leo, this card might have special meaning for you in your life depending on the lessons of those other planets. For anyone who does not have planets in your birth chart in this decan of Leo, you may still encounter the lessons and energies of this card periodically through your life. We will all have times when Mars or the third decan of Leo are speaking to us. You may have this card come up in a reading and just need to reflect on its lessons. You can come back to this devotional anytime that you get the Seven of Wands in a reading, or anytime the sun or the moon are in this third decan of Leo, or anytime that any other planet is transiting through this section of the zodiac. Those might be times when it's really powerful to reflect on the lessons of the Seven of Wands. So I hope that this has helped you understand the card a little better. I hope that this has helped you understand the sign of Leo a little better. We've kind of gone over the sign of Leo in 3 parts now. We did the 5 of Wands, the 6 of Wands, and the 7 of Wands for each of the 3 decans of Leo. And so understanding those 3 decans, the 3 planets that rule over those decans, and the tarot cards that relate to those decans can help you understand the energy of Leo on a much deeper level. And then overall, I hope that you can just use this as a devotional practice if you're wanting some kind of guidance for your personal development, shadow work guidance, and just what should I think about within myself at this time, then that's what I've brought you this Seven of Wands podcast for at this time. So however you end up using it or engaging with this information, I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that you'll come back for future episodes. We'll see you next time. We're gonna next month be exploring the tarot cards of Virgo season. So tune in for that. Talk to you later.